Welcome students. In today's class, we will try to go through a recursive program to calculate the binomial coefficient, right? So mathematically, the binomial coefficient formula is like this, where n and k are the positive integers such that n is greater than or equal to k greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so mathematically the binomial coefficient is represented in a pair of a braces n below k. We can also call, sometimes we denote it to be a c of n comma k. Okay, whereas it's c of n comma k is equals to n factorial divided by k factorial multiplied by n minus k factorial. Okay, now let us take some values, students. Consider that the n value is, let me try to put some value as 5, and can we have the value k equal to 6 here? Can I take these values?
No, sir.
No. What is wrong in this?
Sir, n should be greater than k.
Yes, n should be greater than k, right? So the program also we have to ensure that if we are trying to enter a number, the n and k value is such that if n is smaller than k or k is greater than n, then it should display a proper message. Okay, now for the simplicity, let's take the k value as 3. Now try to quickly calculate what we get the binomial coefficient when we have the values n as 5 and k as 3. So we get here on the numerator 5 factorial, then whole divided by, we have k factorial. K factorial here is 3 factorial, and then multiplied by n minus k, that is 2 factorial. How much we get, students? So you can write something like this. 5 factorial is nothing but 5 into 4 into, I will just put it as a 3 factorial for being, because I have in a denominator as a 3 factorial. Then another 3 factorial, 2 factorial is nothing but 2 into 1, that is 2 itself. Correct? Now, the 3 factorial and 3 factorial will get cancel each other. 2 ones are and 2 twos are 4. So 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. Is that correct answer?
Yes, sir.
Correct? Now, so mathematically now we know that by applying this particular formula for n equal to 5 and k equal to 3, we get 10. Now with the same values, we will try to understand the tracing of the binomial coefficient program using the recursive method and try to understand whether we get the same output or not. Okay, now, so here binomial is the function name, right? This particular line is the function prototype, correct? Then in the main function, we are reading the values. So we are appropriately writing a printf statement where we are asking user to enter two numbers such a way that n is greater than k, greater than or equal to k, and greater than or equal to 0. So we read those two numbers, and by chance, if n is less than k, then a proper message would be displayed as invalid input. Otherwise, if the inputs are correct, then it will go under the else block. In the else block, first time we call binomial function by passing the n and k values. So here we are considering the n value as 5 and k value as 3. Fine. Now, once the function is called first time, so the control reaches here, and the n and k values are going to be the 5 and 3 respectively. First of all, let us try to understand why exactly we get the binomial coefficient as 1 whenever the n and k values are these. Okay, now if you just closely look at here, we have a condition which will terminate the recursive mode. Whenever the n or k values are these, any one of those, if you can look at here, we have a logical OR. Logical OR means if any one of the condition, like if n is equals to 0 or n is equals to 1 or n is equals to k, or even k is equals to 0. If any one of these conditions are true, then this if condition is going to be true and we return one value. So what actually 1 means, the binomial coefficient is 1 if these are the values. Okay, why these are the values? We can try to calculate using a same formula which we have here. If we apply this particular formula with those values, we are going to get the binomial coefficient as 1. First, let us try to validate whether these are true or false. Whether we will get a binomial coefficient as a 1 in these cases. Step by step, like case by case, we will try to examine each and every values. Here I have written the same thing, n equal to 0 or n equal to 1, n equal to k and n equal to 0. First, take the first case, that is case 1, that is n is equals to 0. Okay, now n is equals to 0 means if I apply this particular formula, what I get? I get 0 factorial divided by k factorial. K means, now if you can look at, when n is 0, what can be the possible value of k? Can anyone answer? When n is 0, what is the possible value of a k?
Zero.
0. If you look at this condition here, n greater than or equal to k greater than or equal to 0, that means k cannot be greater than n. Correct? K cannot be greater than n. But here n is 0, that means k can have a maximum value as 0 itself, because it should be a positive integer. So implicitly, what it means that when n is 0, k is also 0. Understood? So now here numerator is n factorial, that is 0 factorial. Denominator is k factorial, so that I will write it as 0 factorial. Then n minus k, that is 0 minus 0 factorial. Now, if we calculate this one, what is the answer we are going to get, students?
1.
1, right? So numerator 0 factorial means 1. This is also 1. This is also 1. So the final answer is going to be 1. That means when n is 0, the binomial coefficient is 1. Correct? Now, let us take the second case. So the next case is case that is n is equals to 1. So when the n value is 1, the formula will become what? Now, can you tell me what are the possible values of k here in case of n equal to 1?
0 and 1.
Very good. So k can take a possible values as 0 and 1. First, let us try to check with k become when k is 1. Okay. Now, so the formula, if I substitute the n and k values as a 1, I get 1 factorial divided by k. K here is 1, that is again 1 factorial multiplied by n minus k. So that is 1 minus 1 factorial. Can you tell me what is the answer of this?
One.
We get again 1 here. Correct? 1 factorial is 1. In the denominator, 1 factorial is 1. 1 minus 1, that is 0. 0 factorial is also 1. So it is going to be 1 divided by 1. So we get a final answer as 1 itself. So this is when k is 1. Other possibility of a k is what here? K can be 0 also. In that case, we get 1 factorial divided by k. K is 0 factorial multiplied by n minus k, that is 1 minus 0. Now, what will be the answer here?
One.
1.
It is again 1. That means we just try to calculate that whenever n value is 1 and all the possibilities of a k, the answer is going to be 1 itself. Okay, now let us try to examine the binomial coefficient in case of n is equals to k. That is then our next case, that is when n is equals to k. Let us assume that I'm taking n value as 5, that is n is equals to k is equals to 5. Both are 5 here. Now, can anyone tell me how shall I write the after substituting the values of n and k, what I should write? First is 5 factorial divided by what should I write here?
5 factorial.
5 factorial, then multiplied by
5 minus 5.
5 minus 5 factorial. Now, what will be the answer again, students, here?
1.
It is again 1. How? If you look at in the denominator, we have a 5 minus 5 that gives us 0. 0 factorial is 1. That means 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial. So we are going to get it as a 1. So whenever n and k both are equal, we get coefficient as 1 itself. Let us look upon the last case, that is case when we have k is equals to 0. We can take any values, students, again here, right? Let us take possible value of n. I'm taking it as a 5 and k is obviously 0. In that case, I get on the denominator part 5 factorial divided by k factorial, that is 0 factorial, multiplied by n minus k, that is 5 minus 0 factorial. Now, what is the answer of this one?
1.
Again, it is 1. Now, we just mathematically try to calculate the binomial coefficient whenever the n and k values are these. If n and k are these values, if they have any one of these particular values, then the coefficient is going to be 1. So what it means for us is that in the recursive function, we no need to recursively call the binomial function again and again. We need to terminate. So in order to terminate, we return the value of the binomial coefficient, which is 1 here. Is this understood? Is this understood, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, suppose if n and k values are not these, if they are something different, as in this case, which I'm taking it to be, n is 5 and k is 3. So when these are the values, this if condition returns a false value, that means it will jump onto the else part. In the else part, now try to closely look at the else part. We are going to return. What we are going to return? Not the direct values, but we are calling the binomial function once again. So we are trying to have a function call statements. If you again closely look at in this return statement, we are calling the binomial function 2 times. First one is this, and then second one is this. Okay, first time when we call n value, we are subtracting by 1 and then we are calling, and k we are keeping the same value. Whereas the second time I'm calling the binomial function by passing or by modifying n and k both. So n value will be subtracted by 1 and k value will be subtracted by 1. Okay, so this approach, if I go, I'm going to get some certain values that I'm going to add together. So for simplicity, students, what I will do is that I will move on to the Excel sheet. Let me take off all these values. Now assume that n value is 5 and k value is 3. Can anyone quickly try to calculate what is the binomial coefficient we get when n is 5 and k is 3 mathematically?
Sir, 10.
Very good. So we get the binomial coefficient as 10 here. Okay. Now, if we trace the program, we should also get 10 here. Let us start tracing the program. Now here, what I will do is that I will not write the entire function names and all. Okay. Rather, I would just write a pair of brackets. Within the pair of brackets, I'm going to write the values which will be passed. First time when I call the binomial function, that time n value is 5 and k value is 3. Is that correct? First time when I call the function binomial function, n value is 5 and k value is 3. Correct? Now, will this particular
Yes, sir.
condition becomes true? The one which I have highlighted here, will this is what basically a if condition. If this is true, we return 1. If this is false, we go on to the this mode. Now tell me, is this condition true?
No.
False, sir.
It is false. So we end up in this particular statement, right? Now there, since I know I'm calling it 2 times, what I would do is that below this, I'm going to write 2 things. First time, I call the function once again. That time the n value is going to be subtracted by 1. If you look at here, binomial n minus 1 comma k. N minus 1 means n is 5, 5 minus 1 is 4, comma, then k value remains itself, that is 3. Understood? This 4 comma 3 is nothing but in the false part return the first time when I'm calling it again here, that binomial n minus 1 comma k. Is that understood? Then after this, I have a plus, right? After plus, again, if you notice, there is one more function call. And in this function call, once again, I will call the binomial function. That time, the n and k values I'm modifying. N value will be what? N minus 1. Now, if you look at here, what is the n value? 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. So I will call with 4. Let me write it on the other side here. 4, comma, k minus 1. K value is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. Followed, student, this particular step?
Yes.
Okay. Now actually tracing means what we need to figure out. When first time it was called, it is calling once again with these values, right? So we need to go again below to this 4 comma 3. That means once again now I'm calling the function. This function will be called again. During that time, n and k value will be different. What those values will be? It will be 4 and 3. It will be 4 and 3. Now, when the values are 4 and 3, will this condition becomes true?
No, sir.
No. That means what? It will go into the else part. In the else part, what I should do again? I should once again call the function 2 times. During that time, again, I'm going to modify n value and the k values. So again, now try to focus upon only this particular part, 4 comma 3. Now 4 comma 3 will lead into again 2 more function calls. First time, I will call as n minus 1. So again here, n is what? It is 4. 4 minus 1 means 3, comma, k remains k itself, that is 3. Understood this one? Plus, secondly, once again I will call, that is second time I will call, that time n will be subtracted by 1, k will be subtracted by 1. N is 4, so 4 minus 1 is 3, k is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. Is that correct? Please let me know whether you followed this particular step or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now, again, if you look at, we are calling the function 2 times. So this first time when we call here, now we need to check this one. Means function is called once again with n as 3, k as 3. Now look at this condition. With n as 3 and k as 3, will we get a true value here? Is that particular if condition becomes true or a false when
True, sir.
we are calling with 3 and 3? Yes, it is true because n and k both are true. If you look closely in this particular condition, we have a special consideration here that whenever n is equals to k, the binomial coefficient becomes 1. That means if the function is called, binomial function is called with 3 and 3, the function is going to return what? It is going to return 1 value. That means here I can simply write it as 1. Is that understood? Why I replaced 3, 3 as 1? There was a 3, 3, and I know that n and k both are true. If both are true, I need to return 1. So in place of 3, 3, it is no longer going to call the function. Rather, it will terminate itself. And at the time of termination, it is going to return 1 value. So that 1 value I will substitute at this place. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now come on to the other side here. This is worked out. Now, right side of that, we have a one more function call, wherein we are calling with 3, 2. So 3, 2 means, will this condition becomes true?
No, sir.
No.
No.
Sir.
No, right? That means once again we are going to call. It will go into the else part. So 2 times we will call it. So when we call 2 times, first time n will be subtracted by 1. So what we get a n value as 2, my comma, k will remain as the k value itself, that is 2. Then plus, then on the second time what we get? N minus 1, k minus 1. That is going to
2,
be what?
1.
2, 1. Is that correct? Is this step understood, students? From 3, 2, how we get these two values?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, among these two, first time we are calling this one, 2, 2. So when we call with 2, 2, will this condition becomes true?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what shall I do? Shall I replace this 2, 2 as a 1 here?
Yes, sir.
So I write it as 1 here. Now on the right side of this one, we are calling with 2, 1. Now with 2 and 1, will this condition becomes true?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Means it will go into else part. In the else part, again we are going to call 2 times. First time, the values are going to be, can anyone tell me what will be the values for the first time here?
1, 1.
1, 1.
1, 1, correct. What about second time?
1, 0.
1, 0. Very good. Now pay attention to this one, because we are calling here first time. So 1, 1. Will this condition becomes true?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what I need to replace here?
1.
1. What about on the right hand side here?
True, sir.
Yes.
Condition is true. So this again will be replaced with 1. Now I'm replaced the values. What I got? 1 and 1. So these 1 and 1 will be calculated. So we get 2. That 2 will be returned. 1 plus 1 becomes 2. That 2 is going to be returned where? At this place. So this 2 comma 1 means I get a value as 2 here. Understood why I wrote here 2?
Yes, sir.
Now we are going in a backward direction, right? We are going in a backward direction when the values are being returned. Now this is what actually we are returning 1 plus 2, that is 3. Now this 3 will be replaced where? It will be replaced here. So in place of 3 comma 2, that is the when function called with the 3 and a 2, I get the value as 3. So this 3 I'm going to write it over here. Okay, now 1 comma 3. So 1 comma 3, sorry, 1 plus 3 means it is 4. This 4 is going to be replaced where, students?
4, 3.
4 comma 3. So now here we get value as 4. So this is done. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now let us try to work on or try to trace the program with these values when we have 4 comma 2. When we have a 4 comma 2, what is going to happen, students? Will this condition becomes true?
No.
No. So we will call again 2 times. First time as the values 3 comma 2 plus second time the values are going to be what?
3, 1.
3 comma 1. Now look at the first time. When the function is called with these values, will this condition becomes true?
No.
No.
So we need to call it again 2 times. So for this one, for the first time, what we get?
2, 2.
2 comma 2 plus second time
2 comma
2 comma 1.
0.
How come 0? It is 2 comma 1, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? It is 2 comma 1 because we are subtracting by 1 for n and 1 for k. So it is going to be 2 comma 1. Okay. Now, when we call the function with these values, what will happen?
Return 1.
Return 1. So shall I substitute at this place as 2 comma 2? Shall I substitute it as a 1? I get 1 there.
Yes, sir.
What about here, students? Will the condition, this condition becomes true?
No.
No, sir.
No. That means once again call it for 2 times. So first time, what will be the values?
1, 1.
Correct. Plus second time,
1, 0.
1 comma 0.
1 comma 0. 1 comma 0. Now, for these values, what it is going to return?
1.
1. With these values, what it is going to return?
1.
1.
So 1 plus 1 will get calculated. That 2 will be returned. Where it is going to be returned?
2, 1.
2 comma 1. So at this place, I can write it as 2. And let me delete these 2 things. Now 1 plus 2, 3 is getting calculated. And this 3 will be returned, and where it is going to be substituted?
3 comma 2.
3 comma 2. So here I get a value as 3. These are going to be deleted. Now we are at here. Now let us try to focus upon the right hand side of this. Here what we have 3, 1. So with these values, is this condition becomes true?
No.
That means we are going to call it again 2 times. Since we are going to call it for 2 times, first time, what are the values?
2, 1.
2, 1, correct? Plus, second time,
2, 0.
0.
2, 0, correct. Now, for the first time, 2, 0. Again, will this condition becomes true?
No.
No.
No. That means this is going to call again 2 times. So we are going to get for the first time, what values?
1,
1,
1.
0. 1,
No.
1.
1, 1 plus second time.
1, 0.
Yes, correct. Now tell me what will happen next.
Return 1.
Return 1. What about here?
Return 1.
Return 1. So these 1 plus 1 gets calculated, that 2, and that 2 will be substituted where? This 1 plus 1,
2, 1.
2 will get calculated, and that 2 will be returned and it will be substituted at the place of 2, 1. So here I get it as a 2. So these 2 are deleted. Understood, students? Now, what about here on the right side? What will happen? Will the condition becomes true? Okay, there was some network disruption at my side. Okay, am I audible, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now tell me what will happen in this case, students? 2, 0.
Return 1.
Return 1. So 2 plus 1, 3. And this 3 will be substituted where?
3, 1.
3, 1. So this I will remove and here I will write it as a 3. Now 3 plus 3, 6. Now this 6 is going to be substituted where?
4, 2.
4, 2. So now here I get 6. Now 4 plus 6, 10. That 10 will be substituted finally at the place of 5, 3. So I get 10 here. So that means when we try to trace the program here with the recursion for the values of n and n as 5 and k as 3, I got the value as 10. And that 10 finally got returned at this place. Now here it becomes b is equals to 10. And in the next line, we are going to print that particular value and the coefficient will get displayed as 10 here. Now let us try to validate that answer by executing this program here. For n value is 5, that is first one. Second one is the k value, that is 3, and press enter, I get the value as 10. Now suppose if I execute the program with the incorrect values, wherein if I give the n is smaller value and k has a bigger value, it will give me invalid input. And if I enter any of these values for these conditions, n equal to 0, n equal to 1, n is equals to k, or k is equals to 0, for any of these values, the program is going to give the result as 1 here. Trying or understanding the tracing or understanding how these recursive search works is very, very important, students. What we did, we tried to make it simple, like we tried to keep or substitute the values when we go in a downward direction. In the downward direction, we keep on calling the function until we reach the dead end or terminating conditions. Once we reach the termination condition, we go in the upward direction by substituting or by returning those values. If we understand the basic concept of tracing in case of the recursive search, then it becomes easy to understand the program. Are there any doubts, students, here? Did you follow the tracing? Is that understood, students?
Yes, sir.
So as a homework, will you try to take some other numbers for k and n values, try to trace at least once. Okay, I'm going to send you this particular program, or you can right now you can take a screenshot of this particular screen and try to work it out, try to trace the program and see whether you get the proper values or not.